Hey everybody, this is Josh here, and you may notice that there hasn't been an interview in a while. The show has been kinda up and down when it comes to there actually being episodes, and just a lot of stuff that's been going on that I just wanted to talk about. I kinda have this free-floating hostility / sadness / so lonely that I decided to talk into a mic rather than just having it in my thoughts, or truly becoming even further with mental illness problems where I just started having conversations with myself. And I guess I just wanted to do something here. It's a Friday night here in Minnesota. I mean, well, if you really want to be anal about it, as I'm doing this right now, it's 1:13 a.m. Saturday morning on April 30th, 2022. But to me, it's still Friday night. I think that's pretty standard. It's currently thunderstorming right now. If you're listening closely, you might be able to hear some rain and some thunder. Occasional lightning going on. I'm not sure how long it's going to be going on for, but I left the door open because it does get pretty steamy in my apartment right now. They still haven't shut off the heat, which I can't currently do anything about that in my apartment. It's either on full blast, or it's not on at all. Not the most fun of situations, but that's the way it is, so I have the door open. And I just thought it would be a nice little ambiance going on, having a little bit of rain behind me, and it kind of fits the mood of how I'm doing right now anyways. This might be a one-time deal, this might be an ongoing thing, I haven't really decided yet. But this is going to be completely off the cuff, just all stuff that's going through my mind right now. There's a lot of stuff going through my mind right now when it comes to mental stuff, but I did not want to make another episode of Something Gives regarding this, as I feel like this is a little more down than it would be up, and I want the Something Gives series to, even though it's very sad and real, I always try to end it optimistically. And right now, I just don't have that optimism in me, so I'm gonna title this Ramblings of a Miserable Failure, or ROMF, if you wanna make it shorter. Over the last few months, I've been doing... Well, hold on a second. Just fix my mic up here, I do apologize. There. Over the last few months, I've been doing pretty bad. You may have noticed that during some episodes, I've talked about it. One episode in particular, I started having a panic attack while I was doing album reviews, which I didn't have it in me to stop and just take the time to restart, but that's what I did. I like being real and honest with people, as I really don't have anything to hide, as I'm already been at the end of my rope for about 22 years coming up in August. Ever since the day before my 12th birthday, so fuck it. Like, what do I need to hide that I haven't already put out there? And what could I possibly say that could be held against me that either hasn't been against me my entire life, or I hate myself for all this time? So I just want to get my thoughts out there, and again, rather than just having conversations with myself or talking to the wall, or just constantly writing the same old bullshit over on Facebook, or, you know, posting a sad picture of myself and doing it through Instagram, I just wanted to do this audibly and just get my thoughts out there. If I feel like it needs it, I might throw some Cloud Kicker underneath this just to keep the ebb and flow going a little bit. I think that's understandable because when you just hear someone rambling, I don't know how long this is going to be, it can be a little too much if there's nothing to accompany it, so, worst comes to worst, you get to hear some Cloud Kicker, which you can already hear for free, thankfully, with everything Ben Sharp does, he releases for free. But I just want to get thoughts out there, and I know I keep saying that. Like I said, this is just completely off the cuff. I have none of this planned out, and I don't want this coming off like it's a manifesto or anything. I'm not gonna do anything stupid. I'm just really fucking sad, and I'm just reaching out. I think we all kind of need that from time to time. But yeah, as I was saying, about the last 3 months or so, my depression has been really kicking my ass. I have been feeling lower than I've felt in such a long time without doing anything that would end in a suicide attempt. I'm not proud to say that, but, it's like if you check it out, the Something Gives series that I have up on YouTube, I've tried committing suicide 9 times. I was stopped 8 of those times, and one of those times, I just grabbed my friend's gun, pulled the trigger, never checked to see if there's any bullets, and lo and behold, no bullets. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here speaking into this mic. But over the last 3 months, I have felt so low. I do feel so fucking terrible, and I do wish I wasn't here. But for some reason, I don't have it in me to make a 10th suicide attempt. I'm not sure if that's from laziness, or I've grown as a person, or maybe I've just come to realize over the last few years since I've been completely honest about my mental health. For better or for worse, I'm completely fucking honest about my mental health. I don't have it in me to actually have the means to kill myself. I suppose you can say that's a good thing, because, well, obviously if I did that, I would no longer be here, and as I often like to say, every day you're here is another day that you get to keep trying. It's another day where you can potentially get your shit together. And with suicide attempts, you never want to die miserable. That's not how you want to go out. You want to be happy. You want to be able to look back and say you had a fulfilling life. You want to be able to say that there might have been some up and downs in your life, and there's up and downs for everybody, but you never want to be at the end of your rope and end it, even though that's what happens almost every single time someone tries to commit suicide. That's not the way you should go out. And don't get that twisted. Don't have that morbid sense of meaning like, oh, this is the happiest I'll ever be, I should kill myself now. That's not what I mean. What I mean is live as long as you possibly can, because the longer you're here, the more opportunities for things in your life, no matter how fucking miserable you feel. Like me. Hell, the reason why I'm calling this little thing Ramblings of a Miserable Failure is because I feel so much like a miserable fucking failure. If I just give up on life right now, I guarantee that life can't get better. But every day that you're here means that it can get better, and it doesn't mean that it will. But suicide means that you've chosen that it can't get better. You've chosen that, not life. You have. And that's a very important thing to remember. But again, just getting into shit, coming up on Thursday, that'd be May 6th, it will be 5 months since my dad died. And wouldn't you know it, on May 17th, it'll be 3 years since my brother died. And anyone who knows me, I'll try not to rehash everything, as I already did episodes of Something Gives on all this, and if you follow me on social media, you know how much I go into detail about all the shit about my family. But my dad and my brother are 2/3 of the biggest reasons I have mental health problems, everything from depression, anxiety, trauma, PTSD, lack of confidence. There's so many different things that those 2 of 3 have caused me, and it's so fucking weird to think that I've outlived them because I was constantly told I was gonna die first. I was told that I deserved to die first. My brother always tried to coax me into killing myself up until the week before he died, coming up on 3 years ago. And if I do start to cry, I'm gonna leave that in because, again, I want full transparency here. But yeah, I mean, if you haven't heard it, I'll say it again. The last words I ever heard from my brother was, I'll say it the way he said it. You should fucking kill yourself so I can go to your funeral, piss on your face, and laugh. Last famous words. Famous last words I've heard from him. And famous last words from my dad were that I caused a heart attack that caused him to go into the hospital 3 days after my birthday back in August. And at that time, he was having a lot of heart failure problems because he was constantly having heart attacks. He also got COVID, and that's the old deal. And that's why he's no longer here. Of course he was a Trump supporter, and of course he did not get the vaccine because vaccines are bullshit, right? That's what my dad thought, and that's why he's not here anymore. I'm sure if my brother had lived in the pandemic era, he wouldn't have gotten a vaccine either, and I bet that would have killed him off as well. My mom, who is the last part of that triangle that has been haunting my life when it comes to mental health issues, she's still alive as far as I know. I don't really know what's going on with her, and that is for the best. The last time I talked to her was the night my dad died. And, you know, a funny little story with that. It's fucking morbid, but hear me out. My dad has a lot of skeletons in his closet that I wish I could talk about. And I just might, one day, talk about it. Because I know the other parties involved refuse to do anything about it. Which is absolutely their choice. They're the ones that went through it. They don't have to. One, I don't give a fuck about. And the other, I'm gonna wait till they pass on. And when I find out that they have passed on, whether it's tomorrow, whether it's 20, 30 years from now, if I'm still kicking, I'll say what happened. But until then, I can't. On those regards. But my dad also had a bunch of skeletons in the closet that I know all too well about because they involve me. How he would constantly beat the shit out of me and my brother, my mom, constantly cheat on my mom. I guess it helps being a trucker, so you can cheat, and as long as you don't get any STDs, you'll never find out about it, right? My dad used to steal. He used to, all he could do was lie. He wasn't smart enough to be able to tell the truth. And he wrecked his own life. And he never got better. He closed out everybody in his life, or one person, a woman that he married just a few months before he died. A woman who told me I should have died instead of my brother. Which, outside of all the shit my brother always used to say to me about killing myself, that one line has hurt me more than anything else outside of what my brother has said to me, including my dad. I mean, a lot with my dad, it was more physical, even though he had plenty of shit to say anyways. But anyways, getting back on track about how I'm gonna end this little part. It's funny. Well, maybe it's just funny to me, but getting back to that point, my mom called me the day my dad died to let me know that my dad died. And instead of being sad or crying, I was just angry. I was angry that my dad never faced justice for the most heinous shit that he did. I was angry for all the shit that he did to me, which he never apologized for. I never got that from my brother either, but, you know, what is that? But my mom let me know everything that happened with COVID and heart failure and all that stuff. But again, I wasn't sad, I was fucking angry. I was angry for all the shit that he did. And I asked my mom, and I have some more on my mom after this, but this part with my dad, again, sit on the edge of your seat. Yeah, get right up to it. I mean, this is the price of admission right here for this part of the story. My mom knows all of the shit that my dad did, and my mom did nothing about it. Except for one time where my mom held a knife over my dad and was about to plunge it into his throat while he was sleeping on the couch. My mom and dad stopped sleeping in the same bed probably 10, 15 years before they finally got a divorce. It was that fucking bad. They say they stayed together just for my brother and I, but honestly, I don't think they could have afforded to get a divorce. I think that's the only reason they stayed together. But, yeah, there's a little bit of a fucking bombshell I just let out there for... I wasn't planning on that, but I guess I did. That's the kind of person my mom was, outside of the fucking psycho that she was, and I can't wait to tell the stories about her when she passes. But there's one for you. But again, going back into my mom telling me about my dad dying, and I just had one question during the whole phone call. I found out about all these skeletons when my brother died. My sisters, his fiance, they let me know all of the shit that my dad did that I never fucking knew about and I could never forgive him for. Stuff I can't talk about morally. That's the only reason I'm not talking about them, is because of the moral issues that come along with it. I wish I could. Some people already know, but I'm not going to do it here. But I suppose that's why they're called skeletons in the closet, right? Well, I asked my mom about any more skeletons in the closet that I did not know about. I wanted to know, was there anything else that my brother, my dad, or my mom did that I don't fucking know about? Because that was my last phone call with her. I never wanted to hear her voice again, and I'll explain why after. I mean, I have many reasons, but at the end of the conversation there's more to it. But when it comes to my dad, I just asked, is there any more skeletons in the closet with my dad? And here we go. Price of admission here. What do you think she said? I'll give you a couple seconds. What do you think would be a skeleton in the closet for my mom to tell me about my dad? That was a bombshell in her eyes. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And I'm gonna do my impression of my mom right here. He never wanted to work. Let me repeat that. Let me repeat that for you. He never wanted to work. That's the one thing my mom felt like she was hiding from me this entire fucking time. She doesn't know that I know the other shit. I wanted to know stuff about my dad because some of the bombshells and skeletons in the closet do involve her. And I was hoping I could get her to admit it. But again, a skeleton in the closet and all of the meaning that it has with that phrase. My mom said he never wanted to work. As if that was the biggest slap in the face that anyone could ever give to anyone. And I just bursted out laughing. And it still makes me laugh to this day. But going back to my mom after this, because we exchanged some words and I finally let her know I knew the other skeletons in the closet, and also involving her, and let's just say embezzlement and hiding money from family. Little teaser till that day comes when she's no longer here and I can finally feel comfortable talking about her. My mom, again, I should probably give a little bit of backstory here. My mom is a fucking psycho. And you can hear that from a lot of people who like to exaggerate, but I do mean it. Back when we had a landline phone, she would get so angry at my dad, talking to him on the phone while he was truck driving, and they would get into an argument. She would smash the fucking phone with the receiver until it broke off the fucking wall. So much so that the local telephone company would no longer give us landlines to be able to buy or rent because they knew what my mom did. She used to beat the shit out of herself and say that either my brother or I did it. So, of course, we would get the retaliation that you would expect from that line of bullshit. She had a mental breakdown back in 2000 after my oldest sister gave birth to her first daughter, which she never truly recovered from. She would have these extreme bouts of violent behavior, but she would also do things like sleep all but a couple hours a day. She stopped working entirely. She stopped cooking, she stopped cleaning, she stopped doing anything of what she called herself wifely duties. If you went into what became just her bedroom, you could not see the wooden floor, because all it was clothes, magazines, knickknacks, and pet shit, and piss. And that's what the rest of the house looked like as well. But I did go a little bit over with that in Something Gives, so go ahead and check that episode out if you so choose. But getting back into this conversation with my mom back the night my dad died, I caught her in a lie, and she just gave up and admitted to me that she's a manipulator. She manipulates people's emotions, which is something I experienced my entire fucking life since, again, the day before my 12th birthday in 2000. She would go from happy to crying to the most furious anger that you've ever seen in about 5 seconds. She could switch off emotions so fucking perfectly. But she admitted to me finally that it was bullshit, because she wanted to use people. She wanted to manipulate people into doing things that she wanted. She would cry on cue so people would do things for her. She would get violently angry along with it if anyone ever said no. And she just completely gave up on herself as well. Unlike me, where I've turned into a fat sack of shit, she stopped eating, and she became anemic and also diabetic, which I'm amazed that she even did, considering how little she ate. And she just admitted to me that she uses people, and again, just in my mind, I knew this all along. But just to hear her say those words, it was the same amount of relief and frustration hit upon me at the same time. And it really, as weights were taken off my shoulder, I got kicked in the balls. I traded one pain for another. Now, when my mom finally owned up to all this, and I asked her how she could possibly do this to people, all of her friends, everyone she's ever met, she used the excuse, well, my parents did it too. So again, that goes into the whole mental health psychology of nature versus nurture. And you can make any kind of argument you want to when it comes to nature versus nurture, but I feel it's both sides, and for every person it's a different equation. Sometimes nature affects them more, sometimes nurture affects them more, but just hearing my mom use the excuse that, well, my parents did it, and that's when I also realized my brother did the exact same fucking shit as my mom. Like, he would take all of his fucking frustration out on me because I was such an easy fucking target. He took a kid that he saw with fucking promise, that someone that was actually gonna make something of himself, and completely fucking destroy him. Like, I used to be a perfect straight A fucking student until shit hit the fan, and, well, I still had like a 3.5 when I graduated. You know, that's not, you know, if I looked at my first, second, third, fourth grade self, I'd be really pissed off at myself for the way I graduated, because I was getting C's, I was getting D's, a couple A's, a couple B's. Actually, more A's and B's than anything, but the fact that I got any kinds of C's and D's on my report card was... my young self would have been so disappointed in myself, but I think that's a different story for a different time. But My brother took someone like that and took all of his frustration out on me, but to everybody else, he would fucking use them. He would play them like a fucking fiddle. He did it with my dad, and that's when my dad would do obscene things like refinance his house so he could help pay for my brother's brand new motorcycle and get him different cars every few months that he would trade, and he would need a little bit more on, and my dad would constantly help him with that. Yet, I would get told by my dad to go fuck myself if I needed gas to go play a show. But again, that's a different topic. Just seeing how all this goes, and yeah, my dad did it too. My fucking dad did it too. Fuck. I'm kinda realizing this now. My dad was a master manipulator as well. He would play on people's emotions, and my dad was the perfect mixture of Hank Hill and Eeyore in this weird fucking combination. And yeah, he would play with people's emotions too. And I know he did that with my family, and he constantly lied all the time. Like when I found out he was constantly cheating on my mom and hiding his own money and doing all this other bullshit that I can't believe he did, and what my mom did and what my brother did. And, you know, I can imagine, you know, someone thinking at this point, well, what makes me so different? How am I not manipulating people right now? Just doing this right now? Why am I not how am I not, like, bending people's emotions just to feel sorry for me? Well, I mean, there's a pretty simple answer to that. I'm not asking for anything. I'm not asking for anyone's money. I'm not asking for anyone's time. I'm not asking anyone for any favors. I'm not doing any of that shit. The last thing I want to do to people who care about me is disappoint them. And I constantly feel like I disappoint people, but I know I disappoint myself the most. I constantly look back, especially over the last almost 3 years now, it's just coming up, less than 3 weeks away, I think, from the 3-year anniversary of my brother dying, and learning all of the shit my brother, my mom, my dad did to me, to others. I've let them affect my life. And when it happens, when the day before your 12th birthday, you're not even a fucking teenager yet. You're starting to get those hormones and all that stuff, and your body's changing, and, you know, those preteen to graduation years. I mean, basically anything from, like, basically anything in the first 25 years of your life can really fuck you up badly when bad things happen. You know, they say around the age of 25 is when your brain is, like, fully developed. And I fully believe that I got so much smarter once I left my home and was able to move out on my own. That's when a lot of shit started to dawn on me. That's when a lot of shit started to make more sense to me. A lot of my thoughts that I had completely flipped, and I was able to see things in such a brighter light than I had ever seen before. But again, I let those 3 people affect me to this fucking day. 2 of them are fucking dead, and the other one has thankfully respected my wishes, at least for the last few months, and has not talked to me. I repeated it over and over again. I drilled it into her fucking head that I never wanted to speak to her again for the things that she owned up to, the things that she admitted, the things that she tried to talk herself out of, even though she admitted them. In the same conversation, she said never happened. And it's just like, it's just a complete manipulation of me. And my problem, again, is I like making people happy. I don't want people mad at me. I don't want people to hate me if I know them. If I don't know you, I thankfully have hit that point in my life for many years now where I simply do not give a fuck. Like, if I get into a conversation with a random person online that we completely disagree on something, be it political, be it about something as stupid as wrestling or music or other kinds of bullshit, I don't give a fuck what they think of me. But again, it's so fucking drilled into your head from media, from ancestors, from tradition, to your own family, that family is all that matters. No matter what anyone does, doesn't matter if they're Hitler, doesn't matter if they're Trump, doesn't matter what the fuck they've done, you care about them because they're your family. That was what was drilled into my head for so fucking long. And I still believe to this fucking day, even though it's irrational, there's a huge fucking part of me that realizes it, how fucking irrational it is. That some of the shit that I got blamed for in my family, like the dissolution of my family, things that happened before I was even fucking born, things that happened when I wasn't even fucking around in my adult years, because I've been gone for over a decade now, and thank fuck I still don't live in my hometown, because I easily would have put a bullet in my brain and made it fucking happen had I stayed there. But so many things that I got fucking blamed for, mainly because I would take it. With other people, they would be like, no, fuck you, that's not true. For me, because it was people older than me, because I got manipulated so well that I started to believe that everything bad that's ever happened in the fucking world and in my family was my fault. Financially, relationship-wise, between other relatives. Hell, I got blamed for the lack of sex in my parents' lives. That was a fucking weird day when that happened. Let me fucking tell ya. Well, not really, I don't want to go into detail about that. No one needs to hear about my parents' lack of sex life. And I don't need to recall it again, but you never know, maybe some other time. But it's really been hurting me over the last few months. It's just really fucking dawned on me how manipulated I was. And now that I'm older, I can fucking see that I never should have put up with any of the bullshit that they did to me, that they did to others. But I let it happen, and it affected my life so greatly, where things that I wanted to accomplish, I'll never get to fucking accomplish. Those days are fucking gone now. Things I wanted to do in my life when I was in elementary school, junior high, high school, things I wanted to accomplish there, I can't fucking do. It's over. Things I wanted to do as an adult, I can't fucking do now. It's fucking over. Other things that I had wanted to do at the time, like go to college, go to some kind of music college, further my percussion skills, maybe get into other forms of things involving music, like music production or songwriting. I could still do those, but I'm not really I'm not really there anymore. Like, those ships have sailed, because that's just not where my mind is anymore. But I feel like things that could have made me so happy in life got taken away by me, because I let those motherfuckers dictate my life. And for the last few months, I've been realizing this, and there's some great things that are going on in my life. I love the fact that I'm still interviewing bands, even though for the last month it's been dried up, and big interviews that I was thinking like, oh, fuck, this would be such a great bucket list moment. I really hope it can happen. I know the PR. I know this all so well, like these things could happen, and then either I get told I'm not big enough, or I don't get a response back to those interviews. It breaks my fucking heart. Some interviews, just for my fucking mental health, I've had to cancel. Thankfully, almost all of the PR that I work with do understand, and I've heard encouraging words like they're rooting for me, they just want to see me get better. There'll still be plenty of interviews for you when you can get above this depression wave. I mean, there's always going to be new music until they're, I don't know, fucking World War III, which might be happening soon, but I don't know, that's entirely different fucking conversation, I'm sorry, but I got that. I'm doing album reviews, I'm doing top 10 lists. I mean, social media's been dicking me over, but then I started looking on my website and seeing the numbers, and I was like, oh shit, people actually are checking this out. The social media numbers are fucking horrible. But my actual website numbers are better than I expected, so that gave me a little shot in the arm that I fucking needed. I got an apartment that I'm happy to say is under my name, and I can get the rent paid. I got to be in this fortunate situation where I can do all these great things when it comes to music, and I'm able to do things like upgrade my studio in my apartment. Yes, I mean, I'm just one fucking guy. I can't afford an office or a studio or anything like that. I'm not that big yet. I might never be. But I got a big fucking TV, I got a PS5, got an Xbox Series S, I got plenty of fucking games I can play. I'm able to be in a situation where I have enough money to not have to be in my hometown or have to live off my parents or my family. I'm so fucking fortunate for that. But again, just like over the last few months, and, you know, I've been dealing with it for 22 years, but, you know, just specifically over the last few months, it's just been really fucking hitting me how fucking miserable I am. There's so many things I've lost in my life, and so many things I never got to have. I never had parents that loved me. I got told I was an accident. I got told that my parents were thinking of having an abortion after they saw the way my brother turned out. And when he was like 2 years old, and what a fucking menace he was even at 2 years old. When my mom got pregnant, they were thinking about having a fucking abortion, because they didn't fucking want me. But they couldn't afford it, so they decided to keep me, and that's a whole other fucking thing. The fact that my dad even flat out said that he treats my brother and I differently, because he couldn't change my brother, so he had to keep feeding all of his addictions with money, and beer money, and weed money, and buying hotels so he can fuck random women, and making the payments on my brother's motorcycle. Brand new fucking motorcycle, which he didn't fucking need. And I would get a hand-me-down piece of shit where my dad and my brother would steal the car batteries out of my car, and I would get blamed for it, and told, well, you should have kept a better eye on your car battery, so we wouldn't have fucking stole it. Or having my brother's girlfriend slash my fucking tires, and then being told that it was my fault for not watching out for it when it was sitting in my fucking driveway, and just all these other random fucking bullshit that I've always had to fucking put up with, and all these things that were constantly fucking saying they were my fault weren't. They weren't my fault. But they were also my fault at the same time, because I didn't do anything to make it better. And now, over 2 decades of all these mental health problems that I've been trying to deal with, I have medication that's really fucking me out bad lately, where, not even just what's going on in my head, but like physically, where I'm just constantly tired all of the time. I can't remember the last time I felt fully awake and refreshed. I could sleep for 21 hours and not feel like I slept at all. I could have as much caffeine as the human body could fucking take, and I will have no energy. And to get into the TMI stuff, I've been so fucking constipated over the last few months that I had to start taking X-Lax just to be able to go to the bathroom. Like I did a couple hours ago, and I'm waiting for it to kick in. And I've been trying to go to the bathroom for the last few days. I can feel it in me, not coming out, so I had to take an X-Lax, and I'm waiting for that to kick in so I can finally go, everything will get cleaned out of my system, and just wait to take it again, because the medication that I'm on causes tiredness, fatigue, extra sweating, constipation, and so many other things. But that's what I'm fucking stuck on right now. My insurance, the only insurance that I can fucking afford, only lets me see one therapist 5 times in a year. And if those 5 sessions do not cure me, I have to go find a different therapist. Instead of having one that I can always keep going back to, I get 5 sessions, and then I have to retell my fucking story over and over again to a different therapist, and things just continue to stop fucking working. And yeah, I've stopped going to therapy for that fucking reason. If I only get 5 sessions with someone, and then I have to start all over again, what the fuck is the point? But, you know, I guess this is kind of like a substitute for that, because I'm just letting all my emotions out right now. When I am holding back my tears right now, I can feel them forming. I got allergies going on right now because the weather just keeps fucking changing here. Some days it'll be 40, some days it'll be 70, and my seasonal allergies are just all kinds of fucked up. And that's the other thing too, the other medication that I'm on for mental health stuff, it's basically Benadryl. So it does help with your allergies, it does clear up my sinuses after I wake up 24 hours later after taking one of those motherfuckers. Because apparently you can't be depressed or be anxious if you're unconscious. So, it's one or the other. And boy, does that feel like the medication thing's like, well, do you want to kill yourself or do you want to be constipated? Do you want to be anxious all the time or do you want to sleep? Like, sleep all day. Like, there's no fucking winning. And I am trying so fucking hard and hoping to wrap this up so I can keep this under an hour. The other part of me that's just like really fucking hitting me right now is loneliness. I've felt lonely for 22 years coming up, and I've never felt otherwise. Even when I've been in bands, when I've been to concerts, when I go outside, when I do errands, when fucking anything. Like, I just feel so fucking alone, and to quote the album from the number 12 Looks Like You, it feels worse than alone. And, it's just like I'm looking right now in this empty apartment. Well, not empty, but I got my shit in it, but it's just me here. When I go to bed, I'm the only person in it. Even if it wasn't for the fucking pandemic, like, I wouldn't be seeing friends. I don't have anyone around here in the Twin Cities area that wants anything to do with me. There was a lot of bridges that were burned. Some of them needed to be fucking burned. Some I wish never were burned, but they are, and there's no point in repairing them. But I honestly don't feel like I have anyone that I can talk to. I don't feel like I have anyone that I could go grab a drink with, whether it's alcoholic or non-alcoholic. I'd be happy just with a fucking ice water, just being able to talk to someone. Just being able to go bullshit with people, have laughs, make jokes, be sarcastic motherfuckers together. I had opportunities like that before in my life, and they were good times. But it's been about since 2017? 2018? Yeah, 2018. 2018 was the last time that I felt like I had a quote-unquote friend that I've seen in person, that I hung out with, being a band member or just a friend of mine or someone that I grew up with or, someone I'm friends with online and get to hang out with them. Yeah, 2018. And 2019, August 30th, 2019, I remember it vividly because I saw Demons and Wizards, which, God, that was my last fucking show. I don't want that to be my last fucking show. Fucking John Schaefer. But that was the last time I saw anyone that ever considered me a friend. It's been almost 3 full motherfucking years since I've had a normal conversation with another human being that didn't have to do with my health or ringing me up at the cash register or taking my money so I could go see a movie or any of that shit. Like, it's been almost 3 fucking years since I stood next to someone that wanted to have a conversation with me. Fuck. It hurts. It really fucking hurts. And I've just been trying to fight it off lately with the work here, with what I do with Heavy Debriefings, watching AEW, playing games. Been going to see a lot more movies lately. It's been nice getting out of the house and sitting on a nice luxury seat, watching a big fucking screen, watching some movies, whether they're shit but enjoyable or they're just a really good fucking movie, regardless. That's been really nice. But again, none of that makes up for not having a friend. I can't remember the last time someone has looked me in the eyes and said that it's gonna be okay. That I'm going through a lot of shit right now, but you're gonna be okay. I can't remember the last time someone says, hey, let's go get something to eat. Just bullshit with each other. I can't remember the last time someone has invited me to their house or wanted to come see me. I mean, it's not like I don't have room for someone. I live in a 1-bedroom apartment, and it's pretty fucking decent size, and I I have a sectional couch here. It's not like people couldn't sit here and be by me, but that's just not the way the world fucking works right now, pandemic or not. So that loneliness is just really fucking killing me lately. And I don't have anywhere to move. I don't have anywhere to go to. I'm just kind of fucking stuck here. I don't think I would even be fucking wanted anywhere else. Like, where I am right now, where I'm stuck, all my needs are met except social and sexual. But, again, look at me, I mean, it's not like some woman is gonna find me attractive and want to have sex with me. I mean, those days are fucking gone. Not gone, I don't think they ever fucking existed, but again, that's another thing. Nothing I want to get into right now, but I'm looking at this now, and by the time I edit this, it'll be shorter than an hour, but it's over an hour right now, so I'm just gonna cut it off right now. I got some tears in my eyes right now. You might hear me sniffling a little bit, holding back some tears. But if you're listening this far, if you made it this far, thank you so very fucking much. Thank you for just letting me fucking ramble about shit that's been going on in my life and all the demons that I'm fighting, all of the bullshit that I've been dealing with for over 2 decades now, and maybe one day I'll make it through. I'm still here. I'm hoping I wake up tomorrow, and if I do, that's another day where things could work out. They might not. I can't imagine waking up later today is going to be some miraculous thing that's going to change my life forever, but I won't know until I get there. But again, I just want to thank you so very fucking much for listening to me ramble for this long. And if you enjoy what I do with my reviews, my interviews, the podcast, the top 10 lists that I do, the Spotify playlists, if you enjoy the jokes that I make, if you enjoy anything I say online, or if you are just enjoying me just being straight up honest right now, completely sober. I haven't drank since 2017. Not that I ever had an alcohol addiction or anything, I just haven't fucking wanted to drink, so I never inherited those traits from my family. That's one good thing. But just pouring my heart out because otherwise it'll just be in my fucking head while I'm playing games and wishing I wasn't alone, so it was kind of nice just to hear my thoughts out loud. And just thank you for being here. Thank you for listening and caring enough to listen. I don't know when there's going to be a new episode of the Heavy Debriefings podcast, as, again, the interview well is pretty well fucking dried up right now for reasons that are my fault and reasons that are beyond my control. Good old combination there. Wednesday, I'll probably be back to doing the top 10 lists on thatdrummerguy.com, as I already have the domain. Why change it to Heavy Debriefings yet unless I have to? I probably should buy it. Haven't yet, because I'm fucking stupid and been dealing with a bunch of bullshit. If someone steals it, maybe I'll take a .net or .org or something. I don't fucking know. But yeah, I got that going on. Up on the website right now, I do have the top 10 albums of April 22 that I've been checking out. Some are really fucking depressing, some are very uplifting, and everything in between. And I just wanna thank you again. I keep saying it, but I do fucking mean it. Thank you so much for listening. It was nice to be able to do this, just this kind of free-flowing hostility of ramblings of a miserable failure. Whether this is a one-time deal, or I do it again, if you check out anything that I do with Heavy Debriefings, or if you go back and check out all the stuff I did with that drummer guy, anything like that, thanks again. I'll see you next time.